In a country where owning a Bible can mean imprisonment, two ordinary believers found themselves standing face to face with persecution and grace. This is the story of Simin and Mohsen, a husband and wife from Iran, who risked everything to spread the gospel and discovered that even behind bars, the word of God could not be chained. Simin grew up in a traditional Muslim home. Life was predictable, controlled, and full of unspoken rules. But one day, a friend placed a small, worn Bible into her hands. Out of curiosity, she opened it. Later, she watched a film about Jesus, and as she saw him carrying the cross, something deep inside her broke. "I felt that I was walking with Jesus," she would later recall. "I cried for hours, not understanding what was happening inside me, but I knew I had found the truth." That truth changed everything. Simin and her husband, Mohsen, began studying the scriptures together. Quietly, they opened their home to a few trusted friends. What began as whispered prayers and shared bread soon grew into a small underground church. They sang softly, afraid of neighbors overhearing. Still, their joy was louder than fear. But in Iran, the gospel cannot stay hidden for long. One morning before dawn, 12 officers pounded on their door. Bibles were seized, questions shouted. Simin clutched her little 2-year-old daughter as she and Mohsen were dragged into separate police vehicles. For the next 18 days, Simin sat in a cold, dim cell. She would later say, "It was just me, my little daughter's socks, and Jesus in that cell." Interrogators demanded names of other Christians. They threatened her with years in prison, with losing her child. But she would not deny Christ. "Even when I was terrified," she said, "I felt Jesus sitting beside me." When they were finally released on bail, the punishment was severe. Mohsen was sentenced to a year of penal servitude. Simin was fined heavily and dismissed from her work as a nurse, forbidden to return to her profession. Their house church was shut down. The authorities warned them never to speak of Christianity again. Yet silence was impossible. Even in exile, the gospel was alive in them. For months they lived hidden, moving from place to place, fearing arrest at any moment. Finally, when escape became their only option, they fled Iran. One freezing night, they climbed into the back of a dark truck with their daughter and other refugees. Simin remembers that moment vividly. "We were in a cold, dark truck," she said. "Our daughter was sick, but on the way, she was healed, and she slept peacefully the whole journey. I knew then that God was still with us." Eventually, they reached safety in a neighboring country. The trauma was heavy, but through support from the underground church network, they began to heal. Simin took part in trauma recovery and ministry training through Open Doors. "I learned to trust again," she said. "Slowly I began to feel alive both mentally and spiritually." But their story didn't end there. Simin and Mohsen began using their experience to help others.